Sunday.
Thank you.
next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Wow. Thank you so much. We are in it to win it. And we see the beautiful voice. That beautiful voice is right here in front of us. We can see the beautiful face that goes with it. Oh my goodness. I have to really say something. Let me say, when God puts people together, it is for a reason. When you have good minds, it is also for a reason. Look at this. We are all in the same colors today. How beautiful is that? Thank you so much for that lovely tune. And I see everyone is smiling. And I will say, we are here because we have a special thing to share with one another. And our mindsets have to put us in the right spot. So I am going to say, this is a time for the mindset, and the word is what keeps us going to in the end of all our webinars, at the beginning, through our webinars, and towards the end. So this is a time for our word for the day. And I'm going to pass it over to my darling, lovely sister, who is looking so stunning this beautiful day. And over to you, darling sister, and keep smiling.
Hi, my sisters. You know, when you have kids and they're asking, at this moment, everybody just thought they should ask me questions. Anyway, how it's so good to see everybody. How's everybody? It's so good to be here, my sister. And it's true, you were in my room. We have the same colors, yeah? We're in one spirit. So before I even move forward, I just want to thank God for this opportunity. I want to thank God for another opportunity to, every day for me is a blessing. I don't take anything for granted. So it would be, I don't know, haughty of me to think that I cannot, I do things by myself. It's just by the grace of God. And I'm very, very grateful to be here. So, and, we're just going to carry on from where we ended the last time. I mean, we spoke about different things. We spoke about loyalty. We spoke about trust. We spoke about faith, right? And I just want to say that, when I come here all the time, I come and I speak from my heart. And of course, the topics that we talk about, you can expatiate on the topics. We cannot simplify them and just make them one way. They're not only one way, they're multifaceted. So depending on our interpretation and the context, you can diversify on those topics and open them up. So if I'm talking about one topic, doesn't mean that I'm an expert and I'm saying this is absolute. I'm saying that, of course, for you is to just expatiate and then use the topic in your own context and take what you can take and leave the ones that you don't take with you. So that's what it's about. So when I'm here, I'm just here to share my heart and just to, try to get something, your thoughts going and everything. So please hold on a second. No, shower. No. So today I thought that, we can just go back and revise on what we spoke about. We spoke about loyalty, faith, and trust. And I think with all these things, hope would not, it wouldn't be complete if we talk about loyalty and we talk about faith and we talk about trust and we don't include hope, because hope and faith go together. They go together. And hope is very powerful, guys. Even in fulfillment of our manifestations or whatever that we are aspiring for, whatever that we are trying to bring into existence through everything that we spoke about here, saying that our mindset and everything. If we do all of that and we don't have hope, it's all worthless, right? Faith and hope are those things that keeps us moving and driving us every day, right? If we don't hope for a better tomorrow, if we don't hope for, for things to change for us, if we don't hope for whatever, and we're doing the work, if there's no hope in all of it, then all of it, I mean, it would, nothing would be moving forward, right? So I just want to expatiate, and I'm just going to mention a few things about hope, right? And one of those things is that hope is so crucial because hope fuels our motivation. Without hope, it's really, really hard to stay motivated. And I'm going to particularly talk about our CEO. I mean, we don't know half of the things that the company is dealing with, and whatever is happening, we don't know half of it. And I always mention that if some of us would have to take that cup upon ourselves, none of us would be here. We'd be saying to hell with all of it, bye. You understand? So it has to be somebody who's really anchored in faith and in hope, and in knowing that whatever that their heart is invested in, that dream is too hard to give up on, and it's worth everything, right? So it's for me, I always think about him when it comes to hope, because every time when it comes, his everything is anchored on hope and faith. He doesn't come here wishy-washy or come here not knowing. You know that his anchor from the first day I had Mr. Eshmufara speak to us or address us, there's always been faith. He has that faith to say, okay, fine, we can move this way, move that way, but it has to work. Our dream has to work, because we're investing in it. We're doing whatever we can to make sure that it comes into full manifestation and it benefits us. He went on to hire people, different people. And of course, some people didn't turn out to be what he wanted, but he gave this dream everything, the best aspect. He did everything. We were all here witnessing Burj Khalifa. How many businesses pays and invest in advertising in the way that we've seen it? In the way that we've witnessed it. There's so many companies that start something, but not all of them, we see them on the Burj Khalifa. The aspirations that he has to say, we want to have the best of the best of the best, to even get, buildings or offices or whatever, rent space in the Burj Khalifa. How many businesses do that? And carry also us along with that, right? So it's always about, we want the best. This dream is worth having, and it's possible. It's not something that we're saying we're trying to conjure it up out of nothing. He says it's possible because there's more than enough for everybody. There's more than, there's more reason for us to succeed than not to, because it's possible. The dream is possible, it's tangible. And we're doing everything, we're throwing everything to make it work. And that's his speech all the time. It's like, everything that I have, the resources, the time, we're investing the time. Look at the hours that all of us invested here. Even him himself, sitting in endless webinars. I was laughing the last time I was looking at some of the critics. Yeah, ONPASSIVE is sitting in thousands of meetings. And I'm like, you can look at that both ways. You can look at it. Yeah, you can look at it in both ways. There's no CEO in the history of any company that forms that, the CEO invests so much in his people. Time is so worthy, guys. We cannot. Time is so. You can't get back time, guys. So the time that he invests in us, coming here, talking to us, I'm like, those hours are worth everything, because we are talking about something that is a possibility for us. This dream is too big for us not to want to believe in or want to give up on. So if you're investing that much time into something, it means then you believe in it. You believe in it. Who's going to waste hours, thousands and thousands of hours talking to people for nothing? What is that for? Right? We need to use our time. I mean, time is limited. You can't just waste your time sitting with people here in endless meetings when you know that you have nothing for them, or you have nothing on the table, or nothing to offer. All right? So we all investing time here because we know that this is whatever that our company or whatever that we're investing in is worth investing in. That's why we're here also today, because it's worth investing in. And part of it is that tenacity that we have, that motivation that we have, is hope. We know that this thing is worth having, and it's not unreachable. Our dreams are not unreachable. They're not unattainable. It's something that can happen for all of us. So that hope fuels our motivation, because through sitting through all these meetings and everything else, we know that it's so worth it. For me, it is. At least for me, it is. It's worth every hour. It's worth every meeting. All right. And hope, the second point that I want to mention, it says hope is also intertwined with self-belief. It's intertwined with self-belief. I'm going to go back to Mr. Ash. He believes in his dream so much so that he even went to say, you know what, for me, if I'm not going to do it, it means that I'm dead, because I'm not giving up on this. It's intertwined. He believes in himself so much. He's not doubting what he's presenting. He's not doubting it. I don't care what comes. Challenges can come, things can come, but he's not moving from the post. He's saying that I'm still here. We might change the strategy. We might change the We might have to modify certain things, but our goal is still our goal. It has not changed. The goal to leave a mark on this planet and to change something, to better humanity, that goal to eradicate poverty, knowing that there's more than enough for everybody. Everybody can be successful here. It's not something far-fetched. Everybody can benefit from everything that we find here because it's not only limited to a few. All the goods of this planet, everybody, is entitled to it because we're all here. So and there's more than enough. So sitting here and him telling us that, guys, there's more than enough, and none of it is something that is limited to only a few. It looks like that because then we're dealing with greed. We're dealing with monopoly. In certain companies, people want to hog things, hold things, only to a limited, just hog things. But humanity, all of us deserve success. All of us deserve to not worry about money and everyday living and struggling. Why? When we have more than enough? I made an example the last time to say, when a peach tree gives peaches, it doesn't give one peach. Your harvest is plenty. Some of them even fall on the ground, guys. Some of them will even sweep away because there's so much abundance. So much abundance. With everything, with harvest, it's not only one. A cornfield doesn't only produce one corn that will be fought upon. People will be fighting just for one corn. No, the surplus, we even give it to other people. Some of it we even leave there so that the birds can also eat. Just to tell you that the nature of this universe, there's surplus, there's abundance. So when we come now to financial prosperity, people think that it's limited to only a few, because the world wants to make us believe that you have to grind, you have to strive, we have to be on a rat race every day. You're going to work, you're just living from hand to mouth. No, there's more than enough for everyone, because a few people want to control what we all can have, right? So, but it shouldn't be like that. You should be sleeping very well, knowing that you can afford the home that you live in. You can live very comfortably. My friends, I was talking to my friend in one of our conversations, and we were just contemplating. I'm like basic things like land, guys, and water. Why do we now have to pay for things that we find here on this planet that are produced in abundance for all of us? We come here, we find rivers that are flowing, we find everything. Now we're bottling water. It's supposed to be something very magical that we have water in the bottle from a spring. And I'm like, guys, when I was growing up, there used to be a spring, and my dad used to take us there because he loved the taste of the water from that spring because of the minerals from the rock. And we used to get there in abundance, and really, really good water. As soon as you drank that water, you would feel, rejuvenated, because it will go to the cellular, it will go into your cells, because that's real water. The water that we're drinking now is too chemicalized and, too over-treated. So we don't actually get the elements that we need from water, unless you are specific about where you get your water, right? But I'm like, we used to go there and get this water, and, we're like, oh, great, wonderful. What? Few years later, somebody bought that land. Now they closed off that spring. Public can access that spring. The spring that was not made by them, the spring that they didn't, it belongs to nature. Now, no, it's our spring. We own it. And I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? Now you own the spring. The people don't have access to that water. How does that work? You see that, right? I mean, things like here in Europe, if you want to plant certain things, you have to ask for permission to have a certain garden, so certain things in your garden or whatever. I'm like, where seed is free. When you buy a fruit, it comes with a seed to show you that there's abundance, to show you that this fruit that you're eating has a ability to produce of itself. The fruit, when you buy anything, that's why for me, everything that I eat has to have a seed. It has to have life in it. Because when you eat a grape and the seed, it tells you that this can produce after itself. So if you're somebody that is into, gardening, or you know what to do, you can just take the seed and garden and have a grapevine, to tell you that from one small grape, from that seed, you can produce many. That's how life is. Everything comes with a seed to show you that there's abundance. There's abundance. There's more than enough. So when you plant that seed and you cultivate it, then you have more. But here they'll tell you, no, you're not supposed to plant whatever. You can't have whatever garden. So there comes that thing to try to control food, what we can have, what we can't. So you have companies like that, like Monsanto, who will control the seed to tell you, no, you can't plant this, you can't plant that. We are now owning the patent of a seed. So, you understand? So Mr. Ash is I love how he speaks, because he wants you to have an open mind to tell you that there's nothing that is beyond limit. There's nothing that is you guys, we all deserve success. We all deserve abundance, because the universe was created with abundance in it. And we see it all around nature. We see it all around us. There's not only one mountain, there's not only one brook, there's not only one spring. It's in surplus. Everything that is in this universe, it's in surplus. So the mindset of scarcity is so, it's just, yeah, it goes against the nature of whom we are, right? So we have to eradicate that and know that there's a realm of possibilities. As soon as we change our mindset and how we see things, we have access to those things. And that's what we've been talking about. So I'm going to go back to hope again, because I know I've been ranting. Right? So hope helps to develop resilience when you have something to look forward to. Right now, when you know what, tomorrow, when we have a hope that, tomorrow everything can change from 360. If you know that tomorrow from this position, everything can change for the better for you, that will produce that resilience to say, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to everything just turning 360 degrees for me. So it fuels your resilience. You become somebody who's resilient because you know that there is better. There's a place called better, and it's highly accessible. It's highly accessible, and it's possible. It's not impossible to get to that place and to sit in that place. But it all starts in our mind and our mindset and how we set ourselves up. Yeah, right? So that resilience, we need it. Says hope helps us to dampen anxiety or fear, because we remember that fear and faith cannot operate at the same place. When you are operating in fear, then you're not in agreement with faith and love. You're not in agreement with the spirit of you're not agreeing with good if you're operating in fear, because fear cancels out faith. So now when we have that hope pushes your faith to say, hey, I can do this. That faith to say, I can do all things. That faith to say, it is possible. That faith that says, okay, there might be a barrier, but I have what it takes to break those barriers. I have enough to break to the other side. Whatever strength that I need to break to the other side to get to that place that is called better, I have all of it. I have all of it. I am capable of getting there. So faith is very important. So hope fuels faith as well. So it's important to have that hope, right? So also when we're facing obstacles, hope allows us to maintain a positive mindset and to find new ways to move forward, which is exactly what Mr. Ash is doing right now. Which is exactly what he's doing. He found obstacles. He didn't say, okay, war, me, doom and gloom, it's done. He said, there should be other ways that this is possible. I'm not only looking at one way. If this way is not working, then there should be other 100 ways for us to make this come to into manifestation. If one way is not working, if I'm dealing with greed, if I'm dealing with setback of people pushing back because they want to hold everything to themselves, if I'm dealing with, whatever that he's dealing with, the challenges that some of us don't even know, there's more than one way to get there. And we will find other ways because we know what we are believing, what we are hoping for is possible and it's accessible. So as long as that destination is there, we all know that New York is New York and there's a way to get to New York. And so if it means we take a plane, we take a boat, whatever, you see that New York, we will find it, we will locate it, we'll get there because it exists. It exists. That place is there. So as long as that place is there and it's in our geographical location and it will be reachable, there's no way that we can reach it because it's there. The success is there. Abundance is there. We're not looking for a place that is fabricated or that doesn't exist. All these things exist. Success and prosperity is there. That's why we have the word prosperity, because it's accessible. And so if we can find one way, we will find another way to get to there. We will find another way to our prosperity and to our abundance, to everything that we want. We will find a way to get there. Our desire will be fulfilled. It has to be because it exists. It exists. It's accessible. It's there, right? So our mindset, how we see things and how we position ourselves also counts. When we have that hope to say, there's no way that this is not going to manifest, guys. Too many people, we're all coming here with our energies together and believing in this, and we know that it's accessible. And especially, when you look at Mr. Escher's life and how he does these things, if you're looking at him very well, he's not that person that gives up very easy. That's why when he uses his words, he's very particular of how he uses his words, right? So if he keeps on saying, guys, I don't care how long it takes. People are complaining about time. Oh, yeah, I know, guys. I know. I'm not, overlooking that. I know all of us want it to happen like yesterday. I know that. But it will happen at the right time. It will happen at the right time. But happening, it's going to. Happening, there's no doubt. It has to. If not one way or the other, you guys are going to prosper because we're here. That prosperity has to come. That abundance has to come one way or the other. We can't be sitting here and nothing is changing for our lives. There's no way. We invested too much. We all know we have dreams here that all of us are pushing each other to say we cannot give. Our dream is too big to give up on. It's too big to give up on. And for me, as long as we have life that is flowing through us, it's never too late. I know people who succeeded in businesses when KFC, for example. I don't know, I think it was in his 80s. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He was way when people thought, oh, you should give up. No, Morgan Freeman, his career started at 50. There's so many people. You look at the guy that developed, what is this, Alibaba. That guy started whatever his business late when people said, but because we have this concept, we have these rules that we write for ourselves as humanities. Oh, you have to reach this milestones when you're 29, when you're 30, and then when you pass, as soon as you pass that age, it's the same thing as marriage. People will say, as a girl, as soon as you reach 29, then that's it. And I'm thinking, who wrote that rule? Who said things don't happen for you when you're 50, when you're 60? Right? And then somewhere somebody will be defying those rules. Even with childbirth, there's a woman that I saw, she gave birth at 60, guys, when everybody said, oh no, it's done, the doors are closed. Like, who writes the rules? Right? We make agreements as a society or and I'm like, who said? She had a first child at 60, not even assisted by anything, IVF, whatever you may call it, non-assisted, and she gave birth and the baby's fine. So that tells you that the realm of possibility and what we, that thing to say, oh, when you pass this stage is not accessible. No, as long as you have breath in your lungs, everything is possible. All things are possible. They are possible. They're possible. And so what more about us who have faith and we know that we have something that we believe in? And I mentioned it the last time. I said, to the one that believes, nothing is impossible, guys. To whom that believes, nothing is impossible. And I'm saying it, think of it in context. Let's not take it out of context. Put it in context. For the one that believes, is like, for you, nothing shall be impossible. For you, nothing shall be impossible. As long as that realm of possibility is there, you will have access to it because you know you have what it takes to access those realms of possibilities. And your faith is one of them. Hope is one of them. Faith is one of them. Hope is one of them. So let's use our faith muscles and our hope muscles and build those things, right? So thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. And in case nobody told you that they love you, I want to say I love you so much and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you so much, Queen Loretta. Thank you. We appreciate you. I mean, the first thing that you make us to understand, I'm not going to stay that long, you make us to understand that God comes first, which is very important because the air that you and I were breathing every second, we have to thank him. I would say extraordinary presentation. And you make us to understand that faith and hope are closely related and they plays an important role in our spiritual journey. Faith provides assurance and conviction to trust in God's promises, while hope sustains us during time of waiting. Hey, I appreciate your love and support, and hope, you say hope will help develop resilience. In conclusion, we just want to say the nature of the universe is surplus. Thank you. We love you. Yes, please. All right. The time has come. As you all know, we have a presenter for today, this Sunday. And she is someone that wears multiple hats, but today is her day. And her name is Queen Kamla Rahel. Queen, I know that you have your topic, and could you please proceed with your topic? Thank you so much for coming. Unmute yourself, please.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Proceed.
Okay. So bear with me. I have a different background because I have come to realize that when I'm presenting and I have the same background, it's a little bit heavy. So it tends to slow down my connection, and I wouldn't want to that to interfere when the conversation is ongoing. So, all right, that taken out of the way. Greetings, greetings, Dream Team. Welcome everybody to another webinar, another session where we are going to discuss nothing other than diversity, inclusion, and equity. And please feel free, put questions in the chat or ask questions and we will respond when we get to the end. Today is going to not be different as before, interactive. So, but we will do that towards the end. And today is going to be more shorter, less slides, because I really want us to have a conversation. And so thank you for being here. Thank you, our leaders. Thank you, everyone, including everyone watching on the YouTube. It is my pleasure to present to you today. All right, my queen sister Lorato. Oh my God, you have just led me beautifully into the presentation for today. Guess what? You talked about a lot of things and I just started laughing to myself. I'm like, if we told anyone that perhaps what you're just saying is what I'm going to discuss in terms of how we find all these resources, abundance in nature, be it food, be it natural resources, everything we have. Instead of making it abundant, instead of making it available for every human being, guess what? We have now structures and systems in place trying to sell out those things to us or trying to control. That is the more appropriate word. Control it for us and make it even difficult for everyone. And so that, interestingly, is what we are going to discuss today as another perspective of diversity inclusion. The systems, the structures. We have been all in this system, but because sometimes we don't even tend to realize that that is what it is in place. And so we just simply continue going through it without even realizing it. And yet we talk of diversity, inclusion, and equity. I know some of us will be aware, or some of us may have already made the connections, but for those that may not be aware, so this is an opportunity. I hope that we will become more aware and understand that, yes, our individual diversity, inclusion, equity is intrinsically connected to the system and the structures. Because one guides the other, or one leads you to the outcome that the system wants you to be. So with that, I'm going to use that example of spring water and borrowing water versus someone comes in and now try to sell the water to us eventually in the presentation. So bear with me while I share my slides at this point. Okay. Slideshow. All right, Dr. Benny, please let me know when you see the full slide on your screen.
Okay, I'm waiting. I see your picture and proceed, please. Oh,
Okay, I'm changing it now to, you see just the full slide, right?
right now, I'm not really seeing the slide.
No, but I mean, the first slide with the flyer, true understanding of the
Yes,
AI.
I see that.
Yes, I just want to make sure I'm not showing the presenter's view.
Okay.
All right. So thank you all again once more, and let us go straight into our conversation. And as a refresher, we have had conversations, diversity, inclusion, equity. We know about all the different forms of all the different forms of, what is the word I'm trying to pull out? Oh, okay, bear with me. I wanted to say, yes, diversity or inclusion can be in different types or forms, right? And we have already had that discussion in our previous sessions. So with that in mind, we also had this conversation in our last presentation. I understand it's been a few weeks past, but we talked about the root, the understanding of what was the cause of DEI. It was as a result of discrimination in the 20th, you can say 20th century. And this was made possible by the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to stop this discrimination. And this discrimination was particularly for the communities of minorities. And we all know what these communities are. We have Blacks, we have other within our community. We can say, for what we talk about, Asians. We can talk about, even there are some African Americans. Sometimes I know they try to say Blacks and Africans, but we are all one. Black Africans, people of minority or people of color. People from Latin America, they are also in that pool, considered people of minority. But to me, as I have grown to learn and understand this topic, I will say, if you, as a human being, realize that, or you have found out that your experiences, your background, life is so difficult, things are so complicated, that every day you have to struggle, then it feels like you also belong into that group of minority. It is not left for someone to tell you that you belong to that group of minority. Because I will go back to what our sister Lorato says, this world is full of abundance and there is enough for everyone. Why should others be struggling to get by? And why should it come to the point where it has to be made, put as a policy, a system in place for this to become rights, for this to allow other people to have a decent life. Why did it have to take the government to put these things in place in the first place? Yes, we have systems, and we believe that those systems or societal structures, they are there to work for the communities or work with the communities and not against the needs of the community. And so I want you to think, for it to have happened then in 1964, that it needed to take a system to be put in place to allow other people not to be discriminated upon. That is something very significant, and that is something that we need to carry at the back of our mind as we process every day. What is diversity inclusion? It took this system, it took these structures to be put in place for other people to have the same access to things like education, housing, criminal justice, wealth. Media is just a modern phenomenon. Not to be discriminated at the job or even within the communities. It had to take a system to put this in place. And then, fast forward today, what we are facing, I want you to think of the educational system, the housing, the justice system, and building wealth or accumulating wealth. The progress that has been made this far to where we are today has been thanks to this law that has been in place, recognizing me for who I am, a Black woman from Africa, recognizing you, Black person or white from your country, India, Europe, for truly who you are. You're accepting your experiences, your life experiences for who you are, and bringing out the best in you for you to be the best version that you can. It had to take this to be in place. Let's look at the educational system. Prior to this in place, very few education or very few schools were in place. And after the enactment of the policy banning discrimination, education was opened to everyone, anyone who wanted to be educated. And that included even adults and children. So that opened up opportunity for the adults who wanted to go to school. I know adults, if we recall, it was a challenge for some of them to go to school, not because they did not want to go to school, but just because they were never permitted to go to school, or they were not considered to be educated, to be smart enough to go to school. Let's use the example of people of minority. Blacks were not allowed to read. Is it that they were not intelligent, or is it that they did not have any brains in them to read? And yet they were being discriminated. Women When was it that women actually had the equality, or women actually had the inclusiveness to be accepted in studies, in classrooms? Even up till today, there are still some programs within the educational system that still consider women not to be in the right program. And who says women cannot belong in those spaces? The system, the structures. And who puts those structures in place? Those that want to control it. We are all created in God's image. We are all equal, intelligent. So let nobody tell you that you can or you cannot do this. But now, do you see how through bringing down this barrier of diversity, inclusion, everyone became included into the educational system? Things became better, life became better. And now where we are today, it's been taken away. It's been rolled back. The educational system now, books have been taken off the shelves. They are not allowed to read. Curriculums have been stripped, not allowed. So when you begin to do that, that is in itself trying to either reduce or just totally stop the diversity, the inclusion, and that sense of belonging across the sphere, whether it's race, gender, religion, everybody. Because all of us will be impacted at some point in time. It's going to impact us. When your children can no longer study, then you have to figure out how to do alternatives. Or when you yourself as an adult, you do not have those fair opportunities where you can go and be educated, then yes, it will impact you directly or indirectly. And with education, we see that it is what takes us into whether our future or whether we are able to have the opportunity to fulfill our God-given potential. Education is the most powerful thing that belongs to you as an individual. Nobody can ever take that to you. It is the control of your mind. And when you have that power with you, you can be able to fulfill your God-given potential. And all of us have it. We have it. Let us go now to the housing system. And we look at how DEI, diversity, inclusion, equity, impacts housing as an individual or a system. Housing. We all are aware that we have different communities, whether we have some towns or we call Chinatown. Sometimes we go to communities where small Italy, or sometimes we can go to places where it's called Paris. We have names. Those names are given, or sometimes those communities are given those names as a reflection of the people. And as we are aware, again, under the 1964 rule or mandate, it took away that and allowed everyone to be able to stay, get housing, fair, equal opportunity for housing for everybody. Not necessarily meaning that if you don't have the income, you can go to where you cannot afford it. No, but giving everybody a fair chance. If you made it and you can stay in certain communities, good for you. But yet, in reality, can we say, even right up to today, we know, we are fully aware that there are some communities that people of color and people of minorities are not welcome? That is a yes. There are some communities where when you buy a house and you go there, you find that those who were like the first settlers into that community, or let's use the American market, housing market. When you go into a neighborhood that is predominantly white, when you get the first person of color, and you start getting the second person of color, you realize that the white community starts migrating. They start moving out of that community. And so that tells you that they consider that area now no longer to be of the high standard in terms of housing. And with housing, that is how they're able to continue either promoting diversity, inclusion, and equity. Because if you are living, then where is the inclusiveness you are showing? Yes, you can acknowledge me, you can welcome me, we can have a chat. That is just being you. That is your diversity. That is my diversity. But if I move into your area, or if I move into your city or your state, and then you start moving out, where is the inclusivity? So then I do not belong. You don't see me to belong close to where you belong. Is it only lip service then? Yes, it is. Some of these happen around us on a daily basis, but if we tend to look at it from that perspective, then you realize that it's the same thing with the criminal justice. Yes, the criminal justice is there, but who does it impact much and who does it judge much? People of minority, people of color. Does that mean they don't acknowledge diversity, inclusion? No. But when it comes to inclusion, when it comes to having that sense of, oh, okay, justice, fairness, equal across the board for everybody, then we realize that no, it is not the case. Why? The system is in place to make sure that it doesn't acquire or it doesn't get the best of the diversity inclusion that we are supposed to be living by on a daily basis or in our lives. And even wealth accumulation, we know that education, housing is tied to your wealth. When you go to school, you're able to make progress in life. Your life becomes better because you have the potential to get a job and then increase your economic power. When you have a home, just a decent home, a decent home where you live with your family, that increases your economic power. And that alone starts help you to build your wealth. It's part of it. And this is diversity, inclusion, equity is supposed to work for everybody. Again, is it working for everybody? No. Can it do better? Yes. Why is it not doing better? Because the system, the structures that are in place. Let's look at how many generational families are able to say, this is my family's house, or this belongs to my family. Think about that. It has become too complicated to the extent that many more people of minority, color, have to fight, have to struggle twice, 3 times in order to accumulate wealth. And when we define wealth, whatever you define, not only in terms of money, like we say, but it embodies all of what it takes for you to build wealth and live a decent life. So looking back now at individual diversity, and then you look at how you as an individual, you are made in the image of God, you're good, you're doing fine. Yes, you can do it, you can succeed, but then look at what the system is in place, the structures that we have in place. Every time you're passing through each of these structures, are you thinking, are you looking at it at, okay, is it working best for me? No, it's not working best for me. What can I do best? How can I do the work 2 times or 3 times better to be able to have a better outcome and not get caught in the system and not allow the system to kill my dreams? Because yes, we had a program, we had a system in place that allowed all of us, providing fairness, whether it's your job, whether it's life, living life to the fullest. And so with that in mind, let us look at now a particular example with the elimination of DEI by the current administration, how it impacts us here and international. These are the updated or current research statistics that have come back after diversity inclusion has been ended in America. Now we know that there is going to be an estimated, look, you can see the statistics. One 1,650, 100,000 people would probably die from HIV prevention and lack of treatment. 500,000 without vaccines funding. 550, lack of nutrition and food. 290,000 people could die without funding for malaria treatment. This is in the continent of Africa. I know you're asking how, why? The program through United States AIDS was part of the DEI program that was extended and funds this program outside of the United States. And so you could see that there was inclusion. There was diversity because they recognize that, yes, we can be here in America, but we can still be able to help people around the world. and we employ people of the nationality of the country or the local areas, and they were working on behalf of the United States government. That is diversity. That is employment. People got no discrimination. They did not have to take people from here to go and work there. So people had jobs. Now there are no more jobs. It's been ended. Where is that sense of belonging when you decide to take all of this away from people who actually need help? Where is the fairness? But yet that is what we all are experiencing right now. And this is not something that we can talk about as if it is just going to be temporal. It is something now that can be confirmed that has permanently been canceled. 83% of all global funds of this structure, of this system, the USAID, the system that was put in place to help not only promote diversity inclusion here in the United States and out, bring inclusion, inclusiveness through all its program that it was working on here and as well as in other places. 83% of its funding, its contract have been permanently canceled. Think about that for a minute. Our sister Lorato talked about water and getting, you find a spring, and then eventually when somebody comes around and sees the spring, a business-minded person, and you want to use it, or you find a location and then you start commercializing the water and you're selling. All right, this was working perfectly. Was there need for these programs to be canceled permanently without considering the impact to all those that is going to affect? Why can't they think of the goodness, the abundance, the blessings that this program has been and will continue to be to many? And yet, the decision was made to permanently cancel 83% of its contract. So now programs like HIV/AIDS have been impacted. Diseases like tuberculosis and other diseases, vaccines have been impacted. I'm just naming a few. Think about even the farming. Let's look at even local farmers here. Local farmers who had programs where they were subsidizing their crops, they have contracts, and in order to help them cultivate the soil, produce food, and come back and sell to us healthy food so everyone eats and eat healthy. Now that is no longer available. It's same thing. Wherever you are going to be impacted in one shape, form, or another. There is a place in South Sudan where it has lost, or it is going to lose 70% of nutrition from the American funding. Let's even look at all the mosquito nets that used to be provided around the world. And even here, because I know that even here within the United States, we still do use mosquito nets because mosquitoes are everywhere. Imagine that mother in a clinic with her baby, or in the hospital with the baby, protected by the nest, treated nest to prevent mosquito bites, prevent malaria, all around the world. Now it is no longer going to be available, or it is going to be limited because of these contracts that have been canceled. Let's think about the smaller clinics, where we know that in communities where we have the main hospitals, we have smaller clinics. As you go into the rural areas, or as you move further away from the urban areas, these clinics are structures that are there in place to help further whether is the patient care for everyone. What is going to happen to some of these clinics with these cuts? That means they are going to be closed down. Without the funding, there is no way they can be able to operate. And once they are closed, what happens? Employment, people lose their jobs. Families lose their earning power because they will not have money. Children are not able to go to school. And what will happen when you are not able to go to school, you don't have a job, the tendency is you might find yourself wrapped up in problems. And that is how some children get into situations where they get into the criminal justice system. It could be one of many. I'm sure many of us have heard about the PEPFAR. So this is actually the one that is specifically responsible for the HIV testing and treatment, preventive services in over 50 countries in the world. Just imagine that. And this program has been, credited for saving over 26 million lives since it was created in 2003. So imagine this system, this structure that is no longer going to be in place. Because I know there have been many and many Americans who live from here, whether it's the medical doctors, researchers who've been working on the HIV for a very long time, who traveled back and forth to the continent in order to promote this work. There you can see diversity. Inclusion, you can see. Because then the question will be, why would America be interested in a country some way far from here and around the world? So that DEI has been working. And when it stops to work, then it means we have failed to understand what diversity, inclusion, and equity actually means. It is not a color thing. It is not the branding of Blackness. It is not the branding of people of color. It is not the branding of, oh, you are not educated. It is not the branding that you want to allow someone to tell you what diversity inclusion is. Diversity inclusion is what impacts your life, what affects your life. We live it every day. Your identity as an individual is who you are. Your experiences, your upbringing, your cultural background, your heritage, your language, how you communicate. That is you, the individual. And then you have the system, what you go through, the education, what you have to learn. And everyone in that system that helps you to go through, that is also part of the diversity and inclusion. And as you navigate your way through the system, consciously, we need to be aware that, okay, this is good. This is going to be the best. How can I use the system that is in place to make the best out of it? Because you already are aware, you already know that this is something that is good. And it is only good because, again, prior to the 1964, there was that attempt to discriminate against other human beings. If not, we will not even be talking of DEI. Without that discrimination, we would have not even had the concept of DEI. But since we arrived, or we had the discrimination ongoing, don't allow the mental discrimination right now. Don't allow the system that have been working well for us to be used now against you. Because if you are not aware, now they're telling you not to go to school. They're telling you not to read or the types of books to read. What do you think they are doing? They are doing reverse DEI on you. That is reverse DEI they are doing on you, because they are aware that if you do not read, then you will not have the intelligence, you will not be educated to inform yourself. If you do not go to school and be educated, how do you get to the employment? How do you get the job? And what type of job do you do? How do you make your life better? How do you make the life of your family better? How do you understand when someone comes and tells you what is not to your best interest? That is taking away DEI from you. So the more we are aware and the more we understand truly that diversity, inclusion, equity is what we live on a daily basis, then the better we will be aware to understand. And in a special way for women and girl child, it is even so remarkable the journey that we have come along as individuals and through the system. How the system helps women even come to the position or come to the place where they can be able to experience employment fairness, employment opportunities. You need to be educated, or you need to learn you need to do something. Do not allow yourself not to be educated, and do not allow or depend on somebody to inform you or somebody to tell you what you need to hear. No. If you don't have anywhere around you where you can find books to read, reach out to others who may know where to get books to read so you educate yourself. DEI was never about a brand to Blackness and minority. It was about giving fairness, the opportunity to everyone. Which, as I was thinking about the conversation in this topic, I said, wow, ONPASSIVE. Look at our ONPASSIVE mission, our CEO. How does this relate into the system? Yes, it is a system that he looked at and said, okay, ONPASSIVE is a global company. We are everywhere. Europe, India, Asia, Africa, America, Canada. Isn't that diversity? Check my box. Inclusion. Do we feel included? Do we feel a sense of belonging? Yes. Look at the many webinars we have. Look at the journey we have come thus far these 5 years. Yes, we are. Despite our differences, despite our backgrounds, despite our languages, multiple languages we talk. And yet, our CEO ONPASSIVE, the platform, our OES has been built in such a way that it incorporates multi-languages. If nobody is thinking about you, if nobody cares about you, they will not even go out of their way to build something like that in mind for you. He is there, he comes, he shares with us, he gives us updates, he tells us the direction of the company. He has included us in his dream. And all of us have been with him along this journey. Our OES is going to be our own system, a one-stop shop for us. And in that one-stop shop that we have, as we have all been educated for the past 5 years, whether it's by Brother Michael, William Ames, or whether it's by Dr. Derek, all the leaders here, including our CEO himself, one of the products that we have is what? Is centered towards education. The possibility that one can sit at home in the village, in the continent of Africa, and be able to study. And you don't have to spend money, buy flights, travel, just to come and study. That is amazing in itself. Education. Companies will be able, schools, educational system, the schools will be able to use our product. It will become a center where people will become educated, knowledgeable, a resource. Go there and get enough resources. That is just amazing. And that in itself is going to be a powerful system that our ONPASSIVE business has for us. And how many of us are there? 1.4. So imagine, think of that number. We will be exposed to this opportunity. And how many more do we have that we have shared this opportunity already with them that are not affiliates yet or are not founding members? And the many affiliates that will join the system or that will come in place and make use of this platform. Through it, we will be able to afford, live the life that we want, in the type of neighborhood that we want, accumulate wealth, just live a decent life. And a happy man, like we say, a happy man will not find himself committing crimes. If you're blessed and you have enough to live and survive, you will not find yourself close to committing crimes or even get entangled, because I understand sometimes you don't even need to commit the crimes. But again, their systems are in place where you may sometimes just need to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or sometimes you don't even have a choice. You have to pass through. There is a system in place. We choose which one we want, how we want to navigate through it and make it work better for us. So to me, our ONPASSIVE, individual and system, yes. With DEI, I say yes.
We come.
Do you see the same? That is how I look at my ONPASSIVE opportunity. And so if you are still doubting, or if you're still sitting on the fence, when is ONPASSIVE going to start, or when is ONPASSIVE coming? Yes, I know we are all waiting for the money. Yes, the money will come. That is building the wealth. As our own way of building wealth, but also look at it from the perspective of the other values that it has for you. Don't let this opportunity go by without you actually seeing ONPASSIVE for truly what it is, as a company, a business that is here and is actually living the principle, the concept of diversity, inclusion, and equity. And it will only get better in the future. In comparison to where the world stands today, prior to where we were today, it was better. But where we are today, the systems are no longer working better for us. And so the more we are aware of that, we can be able to make the best of it. Knowledge and your understanding of diversity, inclusion, and equity is a powerful tool for us all. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you all. Hello.
Greetings. Hello, Sister Conley. Yes, thank you. That was an awesome, very informative presentation. I don't know where everyone else is, but I'm here. So,
Okay.
yeah. Dismantling the system because it seems to benefit the less dominant members of a society. That's what I'm getting from this. But okay, it's been DEI specifically, the name you're calling it, diversity. What is it?
Diversity, inclusion, equity.
Okay. So you're not just talking about the USA then, you are talking about globally. Okay.
Yes.
And you're saying the perception is that it was benefiting only one race, which of course we know that's not the case, right?
Yes.
As you said, it's not just Blackness, but was there any truth to their claim? Because I don't know if you've seen the last thing that the DOGE, whatever that is, the Department of whatever.
Department of Justice, yes.
No, the DOGE, the efficiency they're talking about.
Efficient,
So
yes,
my question,
DOGE.
yeah, yes.
The
My
DOGE.
my question is, in your research or in your opinion, not that it's correct what they've done so suddenly and just so without absolute any kind of a collaboration and saying how we could, it's just cut, slash and cut, right? And I'm just wondering, is the claim that the funds, the whole department, the whole monies were being inefficiently used? Was there waste? because this is what they claim that they're doing. They I have to just keep saying that because it's so many people involved. First of all, Monsieur Elon Musk, I don't know, is he an elected official? How is he doing all of this? But anyways, the latest thing I just saw that says he aims, or they aim to cut $1 trillion from wasteful spending. And of course, they're including DEI in that. Did you see that? Are you aware that this is one of the claims?
Yes.
And what is your take on that, please?
Thank you, Sister Yvonne, for your question.
Mm-hmm.
My take is there is no definitive
Justification.
proof.
Yeah. Okay.
There is no definitive proof at this point that those funds are doing what they are claiming that there is
They're not doing.
they
Yeah.
are not doing.
Mm-hmm.
That has been the biggest question.
Mm-hmm.
Come and show us the proof. We are open, right? We are open for you to bring what your findings are.
Because yes, you're correct, because I also saw many dissenting voices that says that those figures are completely conflated and overestimated, and it's just propaganda, just misinformation to get on their side, get the people on their side that who are of that already mindset to just dismantle this thing. Why do human beings have this attitude of knee-jerk? Like, I mean, you swing from one pendulum side to the next. Shouldn't this have been gradual, even if that is the case, even if what they're saying is true? There are still people who are benefiting from these programs. So what are those people supposed to do?
Excellent question, which is why I came up with this conversation for today. Is like, okay, the truth is there will always be waste.
Absolutely.
In every program or in every system.
Yes.
Nobody is disputing the fact that, yes, there is possibility that there can be waste. But we have a system in place. Go through the system, do it in a way that you do not destroy the good that is already doing or what is already working.
Yes.
Maintain what is good, maintain what is working while you try to resolve whatever the waste is that you are figuring or you're trying to find.
Absolutely.
But as of now, there is no proof or there have not been any evidence of any waste. Yeah, the numbers keep changing every day, or sometimes, or at first they said it was 2 trillion. Later on, they said 8 million or billion. I mean, the numbers keep changing.
They do, as far as I see.
And as you go through each of the structures within that department, the numbers keep changing. Okay, now, why do we think the first thing is to put out this information without proof that this is actually what they have found?
Exactly.
It comes down to, okay, that is because what they are trying to push out there, that it is the case. So you see how the system is being used to push this information out.
They're using the system to increase the leanings towards their narrative. That's what they're doing.
Correct.
It's almost as if it's brainwashing. It's misinformation used as corroboration, but it's not, because as you said, the numbers, each time you go, you look at it, they are not the same. And as I said, it's been said that they are very over conflated. These are not true numbers.
And to me, at the end of the day, is you are trying to destroy something that has been working well. The program has been working well. And why should you go back and target that program and use whatever you're putting out there as justification for it, but yet you have no proof?
Absolutely. So thank you, sister. It's a great presentation, and yes, and one of the things that Sister Lorata mentioned was this idea of scarcity, and this is, of course, also what's driving this new push. Because whenever you think that there's scarcity, you start hoarding. It's simple as that. That's what human beings do all the time.
Correct.
And she says, hope. Well, I'm saying hope empowers us to seek solutions. So I like how you ended. Let us not lose hope. Find ways and then build some resilience, because we're not prey or victims of any system. We have a strong mind, and our Creator made us to be resilient people. And when we trust in Him and do our part. So there is a way. There is a way. Because as you said, it's not just one country, it's worldwide. So come on. We're a lot of people, and we can come out of this. So thank you, sister. It's a very, very, very empowering presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sis.
Before we proceed, Queen JW, we will be coming to you soon. Okay, please. I want to go to the updates first. Then we'll come back to the question and discussion. Before we proceed, Queen Kanla, I just want to thank you so much for this topic. This topic is very, very important, but I don't know if people really understand. You make us to understand that diversity, equity, and equality in education, it promotes what? The equal opportunities, fair treatment, right? And equal access to education. So it prepares the students for globalized world by recognizing the valuing unique experience, fostering the cultural competencies, and equipped students with skills in negative or negated diverse environment. I know you talk about a lot of things when it comes to this diversity, but I want to really, really thank you for this extraordinary presentation. Hopefully next week or next month, you will come again. And the other thing about this, what you said, is that the USAID Agency for the International Development, it has permanently canceled 83% of its global contract. Now, the decision has raised concern, to tell the truth, what I've noticed, with the public health expert about the preventable death and the acceleration of diseases spread. Thank you so much. I know you have spoken a lot. You have taught us a lot. And even in housing, it is happening out there that some of these people don't like people like us, even though they call us color people. No problem. Everybody is color. So I appreciate your presentation. Magnificent presentation. Thank you. So we are moving to the update team at the moment. King, Dr. Derek, could you please proceed? And Queen Kanla, of course.
Wonderful mindset. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. And thanks to all the kings and queens in the house. Thank you, Lorata Shadari, and thank you, Queen Kanla Rahel Neng. Really appreciate that awesome presentation. And I hope I do know that some of us got a full mouthful of that awesome presentation. And our updates for today, the 30th of March, 30th of March 2025, that we are to just keep patient. I know that people are typing in WhatsApp groups and saying must look next week, something coming out in the OES and all of these things. I mean, if it happen, it happen. But wait until Ash Mufare and only Ash Mufare says X, Y, and Z. Only Ash. That's what he said. All right. Not even things that are in the OES, because it's not only Ash Mufari that pastes things in the OES in that updates section. It's not only Ash Mufari that is privy to that update section in the OES. So if you don't see Ash Mufari's name at the end of that particular update in the OES updates section, you know, just take that with a grain of salt. You know, when you see Ash Mufari's name at the end of whatever message that you find in the OES section, then that would be a thumbs up. All right. So because other persons that is not the CEO have access to write things in that section of the updates. So just a word to the wise. But lot of work is going on in the OES. I hope persons have seen, persons hopefully may have seen that if they click on there, for those of us who remember that they do have a registration link. Don't know if you remember that you have a registration link that is in your OES. Now, for those of us, since Wednesday, if you were to click on your, or copy, I should say, copy the link for your in your OES and paste it in your web browser in the address section, it will state account suspended. Account suspended, which means there is a lot of work going on in the background. That much is the conclusion, and that much we know, that there's a lot of work. So they have to pull down the personal sites that was created with the old system. They have to pull it down, and so because they have to repair it and have to update it and have to put back things in there properly once again. So they have to take it down. All right. So if you go into your OES, click on your link, copy your link, and paste it in the browser in the address bar, then you will actually see account suspended. Your account is not suspended. It's just that they have to pull everyone's individual account now in order to set it back up. All right, which means things are continuously happening. But if you want to go to the OES, then you know that it is oes.onpassive.com. oes.onpassive.com, and you can log in there and you will see everything there as per normal. All right, so that is the official update that is happening, and things are happening in the OES. And so therefore, we are moving forward. We can see a few evidence. We can see a few movements. And this has been happening since Wednesday. This has been happening since Wednesday. So, most definitely, soon and very soon, things will be start rolling. Not sure that it is as soon as this week, because basically it was that message was posted from last week. But that is not coming exactly from Ash Mufari. So please be careful of things that you see in the WhatsApp groups. Please be very careful and don't spread those kind of propagandas. All right, just keep your eyes on the OES, your ONPASSIVE ecosystem. That is where we are to keep our eyes for movements and so on. All right. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. And I will now spin things over to Queen Kanla if she has any further updates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, King Dr. Derek. My name is Kanlange Rahel from the first state of Delaware, part of the updates. So Dr. Derek has said it. I think I will just pass it back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, the update team. I appreciate you all. At this moment, we're just going to introduce our question and discussion team. Queen Yvonne.
Greetings, Dr. Penny. Yes, my name is Yvonne Finn. I live in Canada, and I am the chat monitor more often than not. Sometimes I do other things, but today I'm the chat monitor, watching out for questions to ask to our presenter today when the time has come. Thank you, Queen Dr. Benny.
Thank you so much. We do have Queen Kamla as well because she wears multiple hats, just like Queen Yvonne Finn. Proceed, please. Queen Kamla.
My name is Kanla Rahenge. I am part of the Q&D from the first state of Delaware. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. My name is D. Benny Blessing, and I'm part of the discussion team. Question and discussion. Just want to let each and everyone know, if you have any question, could you please raise your hands electronically, or you can write your question on the chat. I just want to thank our presenter for today and our mindset. Thank you all for everything. Thank you for your dedication and your encouragement. Could you guys on Queen JW proceed, please? Unmute yourself, please. You're muted. Wait. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Queen Dr. Benny. Thank you also to the Dream Team. Thank you to all the leaders for allowing me to speak on their platform. Just want to thank Queen Kanla for that amazing presentation. I know she talked about that topic some time ago, but it even fit more today than ever, because we've been experiencing this for decades or centuries. Everybody. It's not one, like she said, it's not aimed only at, it's not a Blackness thing. Everybody is experience some sort of discrimination in their journey. But as far as the systems, the systems were intended for good, but unfortunately, greed and power is the real reason, and it didn't just come about today. A matter of fact, the United States is actually in debt, and they know they are in debt. They borrowed so much money, And maybe, I don't know if this is the way they are trying to gain control, not only by getting the cuts and taking away from all the people that needs it. Yes, there might be some people that don't need it, but like Queen Kamala said, they can go through the system and find out where the issues is. And they're not using a professional outlook on this matter whatsoever. They're acting like bullies. They're scaring people, and they want you to bow and be at their mercy. And that's why this information that you brought today is to bring awareness. If we don't know that, or we're not paying attention, a lot of people is not paying attention. And they're not aware, and when it hits them to the face, when it hit them, they're gonna fall straight on their face. We have to prepare ourselves. And Martin Luther King, if you go back and listen to that, it's the same thing all over and over and over again. We need to organize. We need to unify. We have unity within ONPASSIVE, but we need unity throughout the world. You know, we need to stand together. That's where the power lies. But if we continue to allow them to divide us with every little tactic and method that they use to divide a people, they do it all the time. They divide us even amongst ourselves, which is, and the vaccine was to show you exactly, and they see how it divided us amongst our own self, families against families, and they will continue to use every tactic under the sun to win, to have full control of the people. I thank you so much, Queen Kamala, for this information, because it's not just only information, it's actually life.
Yes.
Thank you so much for bringing the awareness to those of us that's not paying attention, or to those of us that don't understand what is actually happening. We appreciate you. Thank you. And Queen Laratha, amazing presentation, because if we don't have hope, then we don't have faith, and we won't have belief, and we'll be empty vessels, and we will take whichever the wind blow, we will go with it. So thank you so much for coming every week and uplifting us and giving us insights. We appreciate you, and we love you also. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the Dream Team. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Queen JW, thank you. I mean, just one more thing, Queen Dr. Bennett. I mean, you said it. It's the greed. I think if you recall, or at the beginning, I asked the question, why did we need DEI in the first place? Was there ever a need for diversity, inclusion, and equity in the first place prior to 1964?
I really don't think it was needed.
In human origin, born in the image of God and likeness, all around the world, there was no need for DEI.
Nope.
So it comes back to answer your question. It's human greed, it's control, it's power, which I want to go back to what Sister Lorato talked about, the example of where you go and you find natural resources, and then you possess them, and then you take control and you start exerting power, and now you want every other person to be subservient to what you want, and then you create discrimination. So it was an act.
Yep.
It was an act.
Selfish.
Of the greed, the selfishness that resulted in creating DEI. Okay. To try to create that fairness for those that were being discriminated upon. And now things are getting better. And now what are they trying to do? It's like, they are basically telling us we want you to go back to where things were before. And that would be fine if it was something fair and done properly, but do not use DEI as the excuse. Do not use diversity inclusion as the reason.
Nope. Oh boy.
All right, back to you, Dr. Benny.
Thank you so much. Queen Yvonne Finn, do we have anything on the chat, please?
No.
Okay.
We have just appreciations for both the presenters, Dr. Queen Lorato and Queen Candler. Thank you, Sister Candler. This is from Queen Edith. Very informative presentation, and also Queen Taylor King. Awesome and informative presentation, Queen Candler. Continue to provide the good knowledge to the community. Those are all praises. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I noticed that no matter what is happening in this world, the end justify your means. No matter what, there is no difference between you and I. Whatever thing is happening, only him knows. So all the greed that is happening in this world, people who think they're at the top, one day, all of us will leave the world. So I don't care. You understand? I just want people to really understand. There are a lot of people that they think they're at the top. But sorry, all of us will still enter what? The grave. Nothing. You can become a billionaire, but all of us will still, and the poorer person, have you ever seen the difference? Whether the graveyard will be different? Papa God. Life. I know there's a lot of injustice. Only that I don't want to say it here, but I just want to thank our Heavenly Father that He created all of us in His image. If I cut your hand, you cut my hand and another person's hand, the blood that will come is going to be the same. So I don't see the hatred. I don't see, do you guys understand? But anyway, at this moment, I am going to ask, I wish Queen Lorato was here to give her closing remarks. But Queen Kanla, could you please give your closing remarks? We just want to appreciate you. We love you. Hopefully you'll bring more, because a lot of people may not really understand what diversity, equity, and inclusion is. It is happening right now in this world. It is. In this, no, never mind. Proceed, please.
Thank you, First Lady of ONPASSIVE. My concluding words is that we should not lose sight of the fact that this is impacting everyone, directly or indirectly. America has been the world power that was in the position of impacting every country around the world. Whatever that has been happening in America will affect all other countries around the world. And that is why what is going on with the ending of diversity, inclusion, and equity programs or closing down the departments directly is going to impact countries, programs that were being funded or were being implemented by this structure, this system within the American government. And one of the main structure has been the USAID, USAID, under diversity inclusion. Some are under the Labor Department. But the one that has most been impacted has been the USAID programs. Why? Because its good work has been far reaching globally. From healthcare programs to natural disasters, to food, nutrition, agriculture. And it has been uplifting humanity. Personally, it doesn't matter whether you uplift an individual or you uplift 10 people or you uplift an entire village. As long as a human being's life has been transformed for good, that is goodness. And that is something that is worth holding on to. Don't take it away. And if the justifications for taking it away is valid, there are many ways, there are alternative ways that you can work not to take it away, but make it better. But do not use DEI, do not use diversity inclusion as the rationale for you to stop doing good, for you to stop uplifting souls, for you to stop saving people globally, then it simply means you are stepping away from keeping up to the diversity, inclusion, and equity that has been an opportunity to bring fairness to everybody, regardless of where you were born, regardless of your age, regardless of your appearance, regardless of the language you speak. It gives everybody the opportunity, regardless of your level of education. Everybody had a fair chance. And it is that fairness is what we look at every time we mention equity. Inclusiveness is we belong. We are a part of the system. And diversity is just simply our uniqueness. What makes me different from you? And we see that these three things all, we see it in ourselves on a daily basis, we live it on a daily basis, and our lives as we live it every day, in connection with the system, the structures, and the people around us, and also with God, is what is a reflection of what it was initially meant to be, to fulfill our God-given potential here. So, thank you all.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We thank you. We hope to see you again next week. I'm going to hand it over to King Dr. Derek. Are you available, sir? Yeah. Can you close the YouTube?
Is that
please?
availability means that you are going to smile?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. Nice, wonderful. All right. Thank you, one. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all our kings and queens. Peace, blessings, and enough love. And thank you all for your full participation. Thank you very much, King Carlton. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. You are awesome. Daddy ONPASSIVE. And where is Ma ONPASSIVE? Queen Lily Lane. All right. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate all our kings and queens that is in the house and on our YouTube watching live right now, and those that will be watching at some point in the future. All right. We do thank you for making it Dream Team. Because listen, here on Dream Team, we still dream. All right. So if you are into the dreaming business, will get accumulated with us here on the Dream Team. And so this week, none other than nothing like any other week. We do have a lot of webinars going every single day of the week. Every weekday, which is Monday through Friday, we have the Yvonne duo. I don't know if they are twins, but I know they are duo. All right, it's two of them. It's Queen Dr. Yvonne and, of course, Queen Yvonne Finn. All right, every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And, of course, Monday, Queen Miriam Edwards will grace our presence with Mindset Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then, of course, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we have Deep Dive, Globally Changing Lives. And listen, our First Lady, Queen Dr. Benny, has been going through with nothing else but how to secure yourself online, because everybody, almost 98% of our population is online. Whether you believe it, yes or no, that's okay, not to worry. But we are all online, and so you need to secure yourself. So if you want to have tips on how to secure yourself, whether you're on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, whether you're on your smartphone or you're on your whatever you're on, all right, you need to secure yourself. So let's keep it safe in 2025 as we are still alive. All right, so that is First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. And then on Thursdays, you know, it's Queen Jacqueline Warner with a lot of health and wealth and health and wealth. And, you know, because you cannot be wealthy without your being healthy, right? Both of them goes hand in hand, all right? And so therefore, join us on Thursday, right, for Deep Dive, when we dive deeply into these topics. All right, on Wednesday, we have Queen Julie Peer, and that is 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right? And in the morning on a Thursday, it's Oh Passion Global, Singapore and Malaysia, that hit us left, right, and center, and that is 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right, and then of course back again next week Sunday, right here on the Dream Team with our wonderful team that is here doing fantastically lovely, especially with people like Queen Yvonne Finn and Queen Kanla Rahel Neng and First Lady Queen Dr. Benny. And we just want to keep a few people in our prayers. Please, please keep our Queen Dr. Patience and our King Dr. John Gwen in your prayers. They are going through a little struggle at this time with a lot of death in their family. I think it's some grandnephew or something of the sort, and grand auntie and grand great grand uncle and grand great, you know, a lot of death. So please keep them in your prayers. And also Queen Julie Peer, keep her in your prayers also. Her daughter is going through a few sicknesses and illnesses and all of those things and difficulties where her health is concerned. And for those who are going through health challenges and others who are going through the loss of loved ones, please mention ONPASSIVE and ONPASSIVE family in your prayers every morning, if and when you pray, every midday, if you pray, and every evening before you go to your bed, if and when you pray. Please, prayer can move mountains. All right. I remember, you know, Elijah prayed and fire come down from heaven and consume the wet sacrifice. and when the other prophets, so-called prophets of Baal, was trying the very best, put themselves and do all sort of things to get a little fire on their sacrifice. It just didn't happen. So prayer is powerful. Prayer, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rule. Listen, you can always think that the devil is a long tail with a pitchfork and him red in color. That is up to you and Disney. But we know that 1/3 of the angels, which the angels are made a little higher than us, so they operate in the spiritual realm where you and I cannot see. And so therefore, if we think that we can fight the angels that were cast out of heaven, think again. You need to pray. Prayer is the only defense that we have against evil, against the dragon, against the devil, against the accuser of the brethren, against Satan or Satan, or however you pronounce it, which is, of course, Lucifer, the fallen angel that is recorded in Ezekiel 28. Read it for yourself. Ezekiel 28, and then you couple that together with Revelation 12 and couple those two together. That war was in heaven. And so therefore, let us understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Stop fighting against each other, right? As according to what was said by Queen Kanla Rahel Neng. Don't fight against each other. Let us love each other and fight against the real enemy, which is our accuser, the devil. All right, so thank you all very much. Really appreciate everyone coming out and being with us this wonderful Sunday that you could be elsewhere. And so those that are on YouTube, thank you all very much for your presence here. We are going to now shut down the YouTube channel. And so we are just going to ask everyone to unmute your mics and say, in it to win it. Mute yourself.
Yes. In it to win it.
In it to win it.
One,
Yes.
two, dege person. All right.
In it to win it.
There you go.
All right.
We are in it to win it.
We are in it to win it.
Oh, we need to win it.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yes, please.